Hello there friends, Seasons Live here. In today's video, Apex might be leaving Vitality, s1MPLE will not join Falcons, Logitech potentially being the reason behind Manes's poor performance, and the results of the European RMR Group A. Plus tons of other exciting news from the world of CS2, so without further ado, let's get straight to it. And I think we shall kick off today's video with some record-breaking news. You most likely know that CS2 skins have float values. You know, when they look factory new and battle scarred and all that. So recently a dude dropped the cleanest float of all, meet the Og Eye of Zapams Overpass 2024 collection. Its float value features a staggering 9 zeros after the decimal point, followed by the digits 1 and 9. Previously, the title for the cleanest skin of them all belonged to the M249 Gator Mash, which also had 9 zeros in its float value but ended with 8-9. And here's a fun fact, the lucky player who snagged this record-breaking skin has only 88 hours of playtime in CS2. So I guess rare skins really do favor new accounts. As for the price of this beauty, it hasn't been disclosed yet, but collectors are likely to offer big bucks. For reference, the previous M249 Gator Mash with its similar float was around $33,000. That's a lot of money. Speaking of skins, let's talk about our favorite S1MPLE and his Drillas. As we move on further from the Asian RMRs, we've got more interesting details. For example, S1MPLE, being the coach and the CEO of the team, almost missed his flight to China. He said that his passport almost expired and he had no visa to China. And his mom saved the day. S1MPLE also said that he was kinda surprised that after a long flight, the team was immediately sent to the media day. And what caught his attention even more was that some Tier 2 players refused to shake hands with Tier 1 players. And according to Mezstyle, this stems from the fact that Tier 2 players generally avoid interacting with Tier 1 players, for some reason. S1MPLE also expressed gratitude to the organizer in charge of autographs, who gave the team a full hour to think about their signatures without rushing. Because I remind you that this year, there won't be any stickers like before. All players' stickers and autographs that we will see in the game will be basically their signatures from real life. And yeah guys, speaking of the Drillas, lastly I have to say that they gathered the highest viewership during the whole Asian RMRs, in terms of European spectators. But on the other hand, at the current European RMR, Chinese fans are going crazy according to some stats. For example, the first 2 matches of the European RMR drew an astounding 1.5 million viewers on Chinese streaming platforms, while European streams peaked at just 15,000 viewers. That's basically because of the time zone differences. You know, when matches air in China, we're just all asleep. Anyways, it's just the RMRs, and I think that, and I hope that during the major we will have better viewership. Yeah, and by the way, don't forget to hit the like button right now and follow our channel. And also our Twitter, and the link is in the description. Speaking of Shanghai Major, remember the buzz about complaints regarding the non-adjustable tables at the tournament? While everything else was deemed perfect, the issue of tables has resurfaced again, this time sparked by a photo of Rob's. Oddly enough, it's not even something Rob said, but rather a detail captured in the photo. His foot resting on a box. This detail caught the attention of Bondic, who once again highlighted the importance of adjustable tables at LAN tournaments. According to him, playing on a non-adjustable table can be exhausting, as he often had to use a pile of cushions to get the right seating height. However, Bondic also pointed out another interesting element in the photo, a piece of equipment visible under the table. He speculated that perhaps the tables are adjustable, or that Robs simply always plays with a box under his feet. And we've just never noticed it. So in the end, Bondic eventually just apologized for doubting the tournament's 10 out of 10 rating. On the other hand, Exile from Cloud9 confirmed that the tables are non-adjustable, which makes playing more challenging. But apart from that, most of the pros are really praising the tournament organization, saying that the food, the equipment, the hotel, the organization, everything is just top-notch. Which is a rare thing, considering that we are just host at the Armor stage. Still, there's another part of the tournament, and I mean Chinese fans, who are notably crazy sometimes, and players are struggling to leave peacefully, forcing the organizers to station security around the entire hotel. But even that hasn't stopped the relentless fans who stalk players and ambush them outside the restaurants just to score coveted autographs. This frenzy is fueled up by the fact that authentic autographs by esports players fetch a fortune on the resale market in China, and many fans are determined to collect as many as possible to cash in later. While some players seem to find it amusing or even flattering, they also long for a bit of peace and quiet. After all, some fans are just purely stalking, which is not cool, to be honest. And yeah, I remind you, even the most patient athletes need a break. But you know who else might be responsible for poor results at the tournament? Logitech, one of G2's main sponsors, as well as a partner of many other teams. Why and how, you might ask? So, there was a recent stream of m0NESY, and his mouse just broke mid-session. He tried to fix it in the old-fashioned way by smacking it a few times, but it was no use. Fortunately, m0NESY has plenty of backup mice, so this malfunction didn't cause major issues this time. But who knows what might happen in the heat of a match. Honestly, I use Logitech myself, and I'm pretty pleased with the devices. I've got the wired G102 and I'm very pleased with it. Share your devices in the comments below. And speaking of the major ones again, mouse's Zipnix faced some legal issues. I know how it might sound, but that's basically the fact. So you see, Zipnix has two contracts right now. One with Astralis until the end of 2025 and the other one with Mouse. So PGL and Perfect World made Zipnix to sign an agreement, an official document, so there would be no potential conflict of interest. And to address this, Zipnix assured that his dual affiliations won't impact either team's performances and signed an agreement, as I said earlier, basically committing his efforts solely to Mouse. It's very interesting to see what will happen when Mouse will meet Astralis. Can you guess who else is a contract nearing its end? That's right, Vitality's captain Apex. According to KRL, the insider, Apex might be on his way out of the team. The report claims that a co-owner of the org is planning to sell the player without notifying the staff or himself. The first response came from Neo, who posted a similar statement but jokingly added that he'd sell Apex's keyboard, not the player himself. Vitality quickly joined the conversation, assuring the fans that their captain isn't going anywhere, which was also confirmed by their head of esports. However, as soon as the rumors surfaced, the community exploded with speculation. For example, Moses pointed out that this could put immense pressure on the team ahead of the major, where they're considered one of the favorites. Meanwhile, Bobsky talked about Apex joining Falcons. He said that he'd love to see the captain performing without Zaivu, and even Heroic got into the jokes. You know, Nerds was spotted on a Faceit match with 3 Vitality players, and Heroic teased that Nerds might replace Apex officially according to rumors. But it was Flames who added the most fuel to the fire, humorously saying that if Apex leaves, he'd have to play solo. This is because Apex and Flames usually hold the same bomb site on most maps. For now, it's unclear what's truly happening within Vitality and where Apex might go, because at least on Twitter, Vitality deny all the rumors. I just have to show you this, guys. G2 decided to interact and speculate a bit. And oh boy, that response from Vitality. The admins got the balls. Guys, what do you think about Apex potentially leaving the roster? Tell your thoughts in the comments below. Let's discuss. And now, speaking of captains, I think I should tell you this story. Karrigan has been dealing with a deeply sorrowful and challenging event. Just before the Armors, the FaZe captain lost his older brother. This tragic loss took a heavy toll on Karrigan's emotional and mental state, yet he still managed to lead his team through the tournament, losing only one match. Karrigan shared that the loss was completely unexpected, and it feels strange to realize that his brother is no longer there. He also mentioned that during a break he plans to travel to Denmark to the funeral and take a couple of days off. And despite the circumstances, Karrigan is determined to honor his brother's memory. He believes that his brother would have wanted him to qualify for the major and play with all his heart, which is exactly what Karrigan intends to do. We're sending our condolences, Karrigan. Your brother is in the better place right now. And to wrap things up right now, let's review the results of the RMR Group A. As expected, it turned out to be highly predictable. With 3 wins each, Mouse and Vitality secured their spots pretty confidently. Right behind them, with 1 loss apiece, we saw Navi and FaZe, who, by the way, battled Cloud9 for a spot in the elimination stage. Meanwhile, Fnatic qualified with a 3-2 record. Still, the most talked about teams of the group were Falcons, which is obvious, and Gamer Legion, surprisingly, but for very different reasons. And I think we shall start with Falcons, who unfortunately performed poorly, and it was phenomenal. Their opening match was against a relatively easy opponent, Aklot. Yet Falcons still needed overtimes to secure the win. The game started off decently, with Falcons confidently taking 5 rounds and looking poised to dominate further. But then s1mple missed a crucial shot and the entire team seemed to fall apart, leading to a tight score at the half. And the real issues arose as Falcons switched to the CT side. Thankfully, Dupree and Madden stepped up, clutching an eco round for their team. The game seemed to stabilize somewhat, but the turning point came at 11-11 when s1mple on low HP won a 1v2, bringing his team to match point. However, that wasn't the end of the drama, because Falcons had to fight through overtimes, as I said earlier, before finally overcoming their opponents. Next, Falcons met FaZe, and the first half was tightly contested, with both teams trading blows. Early on, Rain and Brokey locked down Falcons' pushes, but they responded with a solid defense, leading to 7-5 by halftime. In the second pistol round, Karrigan stepped up, showing why FaZe deserves a major spot. He clutched a crucial 1v2. Falcons managed to strike back with a series of key rounds. They won the force buy, and later matches held off an aggressive push on ramp. But FaZe had their answers. Rain delivered a stunning 1v3, and it was a map point. Although Falcons weren't done yet, as s1mple fired back with a huge triple kill, keeping his team alive. In the next round, s1mple once again carried Falcons into overtimes with a heroic play. Unfortunately for Falcons, there they lost to FaZe completely. Karrigan's gang just won 4 straight rounds and closed the map. Falcons' next opponent was Saw, and while the match against FaZe was relatively close, their game against the Portuguese team was completely sideways. Playing on Anubis, Falcons managed to secure only 4 rounds on T side, the stronger one. After switching sides, the situation didn't improve and Saw just comfortably closed out the map, dropping Falcons to 1-2. And it was all or nothing for s1mple. He was on the brink of elimination from the major at such an early stage. Falcons' last match was against Gamer Legion, starting on Vertigo, GL's pick. The game began with s1mple visibly struggling, as he spent much of the map running around and just trying to learn. He was obviously not ready for the map. Known to hate Vertigo, he rarely played it with Navi, and it was their permaban. So without the necessary practice, s1mple's performance reflected this. And also, I remind you that Vertigo was one of the best maps for Falcons before s1mple came. So I guess Zonek just wanted to show that it's not about s1mple at all, but it turns out it is. Falcons lost the first half 5-7 and managed to take only a single one on their T side, ultimately losing it. And next up was Nuke, Falcons' pick. And here, you know, it's their pick, and it looked much better for Falcons. On T side, they were just unstoppable, taking 9 rounds. Key rounds won by Magisk and Snappy boosted the team's morale significantly. After switching sides, Gamer Legion attempted to come back, securing 4 in a row. However, their efforts weren't enough to turn the tide, and Falcons just forced the series to the decider, which was Mirage. And it started with a strong performance from Gamer Legion as they took control early and ended the first half with a 7-5 lead. A small gap, but one Falcons could potentially close by winning the pistol rounds and the follow-up, which they did. But unfortunately for Falcons, that was their last glimpse of hope. Gamer Legion answered back with 6 consecutive rounds, and they just sealed the map and sent S1MPLE and his team home. Falcons were done. After the loss, S1MPLE initially stated that he wasn't giving up and was determined to keep improving. However, just yesterday he posted on his Telegram channel that he won't be joining Falcons. I'll just say it again, S1MPLE told himself that he will not be joining Falcons to play together with Nico. What could this mean? Was his contract not extended? Was Zonic not happy with S1MPLE? What about the rumored star-stud team of S1MPLE, Apex and Nico? The situation had everyone guessing. Perhaps the dream team is already falling apart, or maybe Alexander has been offered a spot on another team, though a return to Navi seems really unlikely. Or could this be just a bait? With so little information, it's impossible to say. My friends, share your theories in the comments below, and also don't forget to follow the channel right now and hit the like button. Meanwhile, speaking of Gamer Legion, they surprised everyone by qualifying for the major after starting with 0-2. After such a drastic start, they managed to defeat Falcons, Sinners and BB Team and secured their spot. Even more impressive is that this roster was only formed recently and many of the players are very young, so it wouldn't be surprising if other teams will show interest in picking them up after the major. And now I will name the teams that didn't make it to the major: BB Team, Nemega, Sinners, Eklot, Saw, Falcons, Sangal, Unity and Rebels. I wonder how many of them will survive until the next major. And just as I was uploading the video to YouTube, Falcons decided to do this. Effective immediately, Dupree, Snappy and Madden will be removed to the bench, while S1MPLE's loan will no longer be extended. It's the official statement. So my guys, obviously only Magisk and Zonic remain on the team. And as you know, Nico will join them just in January, most likely. I think we will cover all the reactions and analytics in the next video, but for now you can leave your thoughts what will happen with the next Falcon roster in the comments below. And that's all for today, my friends. Thank you for watching. Once again, don't forget to follow our channel, hit the like button and leave a comment because it helps us develop a lot. Ahead we've got the Armors Group B, and I'm not saying goodbye for a long time. See you soon.